There we go. And we are live. Guess what? It's 2:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and you are watching, I hope you're watching, Innovation Fika with Donny, and a full autumn ahead of incredible guests coming up. The first show after the summer break, and I hope you are all as rested and wonderfully tranquil as me and everybody else. I had a fantastic summer. I hope you had yours as well. Hope you're all joining online live as well. So don't forget to post your questions, ask questions, and comment all the way through the show. My name is Donny, by the way, if you haven't understood that yet. I post almost daily on LinkedIn. So follow me on LinkedIn for daily posts there. All of the content that I post is on Medium as well. And all of these recordings, this is actually episode 72 of my Innovation Fika that I do every Wednesday, is on YouTube. So check out my YouTube channel for the Innovation Fika YouTube channel for all of the episodes there. If you want to watch it in a different channel in the future, we are live on LinkedIn, Univid, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. So you can check out any channel you want. We're going to get TikTok up this autumn as well. But enough about that. Enough about me. Just make sure to follow me everywhere. That'll be great. We're here because we have, as usual, amazing guests, amazing people. And today I am joined by incredible person. Everybody that comes here are incredible people. Incredible person, KTH alumni as well, and public speaking coach. Welcome in from, welcome in from Green Room, Lina Lavender. We should have, buttons with audience applause and added things like that. So we get the full things. So, and everybody out there, make sure to, say hi to Lina, post your questions, everything about public speaking, everything you ever wanted to know or was afraid or have been afraid of regarding public speaking, but never dared ask. Here is your opportunity. So today, welcome into the show, Lina. Anyway, wonderful to have you here. Thank you for opening the autumn together with me here today.
I'm very excited.
And of course, the subject is public speaking made easy. And so you've heard, I've heard, public speaking is one of the things people are most afraid of. But is it a fact that, is it such a big fear? I mean, do we know the statistics there?
Yes, I don't have the statistics for you, but yes, it's like we're biologically wired to fear getting in front of people, which is we kind of start on a really bad position because our brains are just trying to tell us to not kind of separate from the group, which is what we're doing when we step in front of an audience. I'm obviously having a lot of eyes on me, and the brain right away registers that as dangerous. So we're all just, it's in our biology.
Well, but how? Okay, yes. But how did you get into the whole sort of, I need to help people overcome their fear of public speaking?
Well, I'd say it started because I myself was really scared of public speaking.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, and I think lots of people think public speaking is only for extroverts, people who love to be on stage or in the center of attention, which I am absolutely not. I'm very reserved. I was super shy as a child and barely ever raised my hand in school or anything. I do remember one instance actually, and I was maybe 13 in high school, and we were having this parent-teacher conference or when you talk with your teacher and they say, how about you try this to develop yourself a little bit. How about you try and speak more in class? And I remember going home, feeling super nervous and trying it the day after. And I have such a vivid memory of this. And it's I'm in the front row, and they pose a question. My two teachers ask a question, and I think to myself, with heart beating, so nervous, my hands just super sweaty, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I raised my hand to answer the question, and I can see it in their faces. They're like, yes, she's doing it. Really excited for my sake. And I end up getting the answer wrong. And
of course.
Yes, of course. And stuff like that happening over and over again, when I felt like, as time went on, I felt like this is limiting me so much. Like I can't even speak in a classroom of 30 people. So it kind of started there, and then slowly, it's been building over 15 years.
Yeah,
basically.
Okay. But if you want to share your own memories, good or bad, from your
We all have them,
first
yes.
public speaking events. Actually, I know people. I have met a lot of people that say, "Oh, Swedish schools should do a lot more. Stand
Yes.
up and speak in front of the
Yes.
class because at the most we sort of say, I know the answer, and then you can sort of say the answer." But actually, my personal public speaking sort of intro was actually at school. What we call in Swedish "roliga timmen."
Oh yeah.
The funny hour when
Yeah.
you tell jokes and stuff like that.
Yes.
I've always been kind
Stand
of
up and
always
theater.
been kind of a class clown kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
I can see that.
that thing, getting in front of the class and having fun with it.
Yeah.
That was sort of, but that was always okay. But
Yeah.
as you said, if they'd asked me to answer what's the capital of Bratislava or whatever,
Right.
I go, oh my God,
Yes.
and then completely freeze up.
Yes.
There's a big difference as well when it comes to the situation and how you feel it's serious or not.
Definitely. This situation is it can be so different. You can feel so comfortable in one situation where you've done this. I can imagine you feel pretty comfortable doing this. This is your 72nd.
72nd?
Yes, episode. For me, I've never done this before, so I have more of a nervous experience, more of a nervous stress release today than I normally have when I do public speaking lectures that I feel more comfortable with. So it's so dependent on the situation. And I think starting out trying to kind of overcome that fear that we feel and the nervousness is you just start small. Don't do the things that make you run the other direction in full panic, but raise your hand in a meeting and say one sentence, and then go into the bathroom and give yourself a high five and celebrate those little wins that it always is when you get that kind of stress release, those nerves, and you do it anyways. That's what the whole thing is about, to be honest.
But let's talk about that, because the stress reaction, that's just that's a bodily physical reaction to something which you then feel is scary or fearful. And I think that, but how do you mentioned some things here, but how would you suggest then that people can just start working with that their body reacts?
I think the very first thing to know is this exact thing. It's normal. It's just your brain is trying to help you. It's basically it's a survival instinct to not want to get outside of the group, because for most of humanity's history, we've always been part of a group. And if you weren't part of the group, you died. So it was actually dangerous. It's not dangerous anymore, but it feels the same. So it feels like it's super dangerous. So our brain is still trying to kind of tell us get out of the situation, which is why we get all these thoughts. I'm sure all of you have had this feeling that you're going to do something. You have this presentation, you have an interview, and your brain is trying to come up with ideas. Maybe I'm feeling a little sick. I'm just not going to go into work today. So your brain is trying to get you to avoid this danger. And every time we avoid it, it gets stronger. We're kind of reinforcing in our brains that it is dangerous.
Yes.
And at the same time, the good news is every time we do it anyway, we reinforce it's not dangerous. So you survive. Yeah. And it's going to get easier and easier. So start doing it.
Start small and start doing it.
And celebrate it. Do a high five. Yeah. In the mirror. It helps.
Okay. Really, really good. Start small. And that's also something that we seldom do, because you do it and you get out of the situation and you go, I survived.
I never want to do it again.
I'm okay. Instead of saying, hey, I did it.
Exactly.
This is like, wow, this is a big
feel
thing.
the power. Yeah.
That's also something important.
Yes, really important. And if you think about all these like adrenaline junkies, they jump out of airplanes or they climb mountains or whatever they do. That adrenaline that they're feeling, the excitement that they're feeling doing this, that they seek, is exactly the same. It's the same biological response, symptoms, everything is the same, but they seek it because they feel alive afterwards. Yeah. They feel powerful afterwards, which can happen after every time you do a presentation or you lead a meeting, or you feel the fear, but you do it anyway. Yeah. And it's the same.
Well, I mean, I even read somewhere that people would rather jump out of an airplane than give a talk in front of their colleagues.
Yes, I've heard that too. I believe it. I do believe it. I don't really know it for myself. I would never ever. But I do understand that feeling. When I started learning about public speaking, it kind of made me start to feel like I felt more alive doing it.
Yeah.
Because as an introvert, really reserved and shy, it's hard to create connections with people, finding relationships, and just like finding feeling like you belong in school or at work or anything. So public speaking for me, getting to learn about it and understand there's a way to do it that makes it easier, it made me feel more alive. And it's really, which is why I now love doing what I do.
So today you work actively with organizations and people and companies and to help them. So how do you actually go about, if somebody here by chance is watching this and says, hey, we need that girl at our place, how do you go about starting to help an organization?
Well, it depends so much on the organization. It depends so much on the people. Mostly I do individual one-to-one coaching, which is super fun because you get to follow along every little step, every little development, which is great. But it's also really exciting to get to go to a company and talk to their employees and see what are the struggles that they have, what do they want to learn. But in general, I do either inspirational lectures to kind of like try to ignite that spark in every person, that like it can be fun. It's not just this uncomfortable, terrible feeling to feel nervous. It can actually be fun, and especially afterwards, that it can make you feel alive. It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
So focus a lot on that, and then also courses, but it's longer courses. It could be evening courses, depending on what kind of company it is, if it's sales or if it's consultants or if it's.
And is it like practice sessions where they get to practice?
Yes.
And
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have to practice. That's one thing I remember posting when I started out with my Instagram account. It was about 2 or 3 years ago now, I think. And I started out and with like the first little tips. And one of the things I call it, my Instagram account, I call it presentera mera, which is basically present more, because of 2 reasons. Because presenting more of yourself is one key thing. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. And then also to present more, as in do it more often. And I remember posting that and getting comments like, do you have another tip? Like, people don't want to, and I get it because it's so uncomfortable, but people don't want to they don't want to practice it. They don't want, because it's so uncomfortable. But it's with everything. You want to learn how to ride a horse, you have to sit on a horse.
Well, I mean, you can watch YouTube videos to an extent of how to ride a horse, but in the end, you have to get up.
You have to get up and do it. And the key again is to do it in a situation or in a context where you feel like you can test your limits, your boundaries, but it's free of like it's comfortable, it's fun, it's familiar.
I mean, and I think the context part is so interesting, and how to work with the contextual feeling, because I'll tell you about a personal experience.
Yes, please.
I haven't had any trouble with giving seminars or lectures and talks, and I use a lot of humor in my talks, and I like to laugh. It's fun, it lowers the barriers, and people have a fun time with that. And then for one of my big birthdays, my friends gave me a stand-up comedy course, right? So to me, it's an actual comedy coach, and then go on stage and do that. And I had complete lockdown brain freeze, because standing up and doing like 60 minutes of, hey everyone, let's talk about innovation, woohoo, and having fun with that. It's okay. But standing up and going okay, you've got 2 minutes, be funny.
Yes, terrible.
I was like, completely. Yeah. And so the context is everything when it comes to how the perception of what makes us nervous or not. Yeah. That was horrible. That was a terrible situation for me.
But you did it and you survived. Are you going to do it again?
Yeah, but the thing, now I've come up with all of the excuses why I should never do it again. Yes. Because I'm not funny, I don't have the material, I don't know what to talk about, and that whole thing. Yes.
No, it actually the stand-up situation is one of my I don't want to do it, and I can't think of anything worse, to be honest. When the expectation is, like you say, make them laugh.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, very
so we're challenging the audience here. You need to invite Lina for 1, sky jumping out of an airplane.
All right.
And 2, to come and get up on a stand-up stage.
Those are my 2 big ones.
Yeah, okay.
I'm working towards them slowly.
If you do the stand-up, I will do it with you. I promise. So we'll keep it together. Okay,
awesome.
Cool. Okay, so somebody's been given a subject and they're getting from their colleagues. Yes. Is there anything they can do before they do it? Is there anything I can, like opera singers do the voice thing, and what can I do?
There's so many things.
Yeah, but
so many things. Let me share some things. Well, if someone's really nervous about performing, I would say there's 3 different categories of things that you can do.
Yep.
First of all, obviously, which you already mentioned, prepare.
Practice, yeah.
Yes.
Prepare, yeah.
Prepare. Think about what you want to say. Practice it, because one thing that stresses our brains out a lot is the feeling of not having control. Mm. And the less control we have, the more nervous and stressed out we get. So preparation is a way to get control over the things that we can control. So nervousness and feeling stressed and worried about something and anxious about this presentation is actually a good thing. Like, it gets us moving. Mm-hmm. It gets us moving, because if you were not nervous about it, you would just show up, and it wouldn't be as good as if you were nervous and have done all this preparation and gotten into it. So that's one.
Yep.
Prepare. And there's obviously tons of different ways you can do it, but that's one category of things you can do. Second one is mental exercises, different kinds of mental exercises, because the idea of doing like visualization exercises or meditation or stuff like that is to kind of change the way you think about this situation, because it's your thoughts that you think about it as something dangerous, you think about it as a threat, and your brain puts out all these this cortisol and the adrenaline, and you get this stress response. But if you can change your thinking about it, your perspective on feeling nervous, or your perspective on the situation, it helps with the symptoms. It helps reduce the symptoms you get.
Yeah.
And then the third category would be then to address the actual symptoms, like breathing exercises, and you do physical exercises to calm yourself down.
But the practice part, I can totally buy into the practice part, and also, you also said it before, you don't do it once, you do it again and again and again and again and again, and over time. I mean, because my first 10 working years was in the army, right? And we were constantly put in situations which were kind of stressful, if you call it like that.
Of course, yeah.
And also forced stressful. So we started to understand, how does my body react when I'm really stressed? And just by sort of understanding that, this is what happens. Yeah. I get it. It's kind of normal. Yeah. I can cope with it.
Yes.
That's it. That's such an important thing, because usually we get really scared of what our body is, how it reacts. Yes. And that in itself is a scary thing.
Because it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. Your heart starts beating.
It's terrible.
It's really uncomfortable. And we make it worse by thinking, oh no, I got to stop this. And you try and tell yourself, I'm not nervous, or this is going to be great, but you're not really, you're not feeling it. And I think honestly, the worst thing you can do is to try and suppress the nervousness, because the brain is just not going to have it. Like it's gonna keep at it until you run away. So the best thing is to just, it's easier said than done, but it's about accepting and embracing. Like you say, start recognizing, oh, I'm getting some nervous symptoms. My heart's starting to beat. My mouth's getting dry. You start recognizing these things about yourself, and to just slowly be able to say, oh, I see what you're doing, brain. I get it, and accept what's happening, and then do it anyway. Move forward.
I have lots of people online saying hi as well. Let's do this. Hi, Eric. Eric, it's good to see you today. And we have Theresia from Avanza, and hey, Ragnhild up from north of Norway as well. Cool.
Oh, amazing.
Good to see you all online.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, one of my this is like a secret tip here, business tip.
Okay.
But it's actually is good. The thing is, when now we're back to networking again, right? And we're back to going to events and seminars, like things. One of my sort of best tips for networking and going to any kind of lecture or anything is like, always ask a question.
Yes, that's great.
Because everybody sees who you are.
Yes.
It's like, hi everyone. Yes, my name is Donny. I'm from KTH Innovation, and I have a question regarding this and this and this. Ah, Donny, KTH Innovation. It's like you've got that, but that is also a very, very good opportunity to actually force yourself to stand up. Even if you only say, hi, my name is, I have a question about this.
Yes.
I mean, I can tell you, even me, before, if I'm in a lecture hall with 100 people and I know that I have to ask, because I force myself, I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
It's like sort of,
and you do it anyway.
And then here we go, Yes. So it's a really, really good way to just practice things.
It's amazing. It's a really good tip because it also sets you up for the rest of the meeting or the rest, because you already did it.
Yeah.
You've overcome it once, and it's going to get easier and easier.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons, actually, when I started working as a consultant many years back, they taught us about leading workshops, and they always have an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Because of that reason, to make people, to force people in the group to say something so that they will participate more during the actual workshop.
And that is probably, Lina, that the best tip of them all is no, but this is and this is, I mean this as well. Because this is my probably favorite speaker tip.
Yeah.
If I'm speaking at an event, I always make sure to be not locked away in the green room and then go up on stage. I always try and mingle with the audience before.
Yes, that's a great tip.
Because then I'm sort of part of, I've met you before and we said hi, and then I'm on stage and I say, hey, that's a girl I met before.
Exactly.
And it's connecting and I feel a bit more included in the group.
Yeah.
I'm not sort of somebody that just came in from the left.
Yeah.
And that is, for me, is one of the best ways for me to, in the room with people I don't know, is let's make sure I've spoken to them before, mingle, have a cup of coffee, ask them, what about the guy that's going to be on stage? What do you know about him? You know anything about that? What are you expecting from this anyway?
See what expectations they have.
And they go,
right?
oh my God, another stupid one of those inspirational blah, blah, blah that they flew in. I was like, okay, perfect. And then when I got up on stage, it goes, there you go.
And then the audience also doesn't become, because it's easy to just see this ocean of stone faces.
Exactly.
And you get really intimidated by these bodies, but they're actually just people.
Yeah.
And to talk to them before, you realize these are human beings just like me and you. They have emotions, they have feelings, they have wishes, they have just like you. They're just regular people. Yeah. And it can also help to calm you down, having talked to them before and seeing them laugh and smile, and just you can pick out those faces in the audience too.
But your icebreaker tip also works if you're like a manager of a group.
Yeah.
And you have a group of people and you can also sort of I'm not going to say, I would say trick them. That's a negative thing. But you can play around with icebreakers.
Encourage them.
Thank you. Encourage them. So it's much better. You can, by introducing icebreakers in any kind of meeting, just to get them talking to each other, because that will also lower the barrier and the threshold for them to speak up during the meeting. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Also, open the meeting room 5-10 minutes before, and people can come and kind of organically start to chat, and it's going to be that feeling of community and it's gonna be there when the meeting starts, and they're gonna feel more or less nervous to participate.
I think that we're actually we're not looking at the timer as usual. This is the world's fastest half an hour.
Yes, it is.
I know, but I know that also here at KTH we have lots of students coming in now, and then lots of people from all over the world actually coming into KTH now, and new classes, and everybody's like in a room of 40 people, and they're super nervous. And I think the biggest thing there is you're thinking that everybody will judge you.
Yeah.
Because they'll look at you for 10 seconds and they'll go, okay, he's one of those. I know what they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people kind of do, but they forget about it.
So
quickly,
what is your,
how to deal with those kind of fears? You mean to fear what people are going to think about you? It's actually one of my tips that's going to come.
Well, considering it's almost 5 to 3, we should maybe move into, as you will know, these 30-minute coffee breaks where you can just lean back, have a cup of coffee, and listen to what we're talking about. They always end with the guests giving us their top 3 tips. And let's see, let's take away the banner here. And today, Lina has graciously, as usual, blessed us with Lina Lavender's top 3 tips for public speaking.
So much expectations.
Oh, we're raising the bar here, baby. Yes. Okay, and tip number 1 is always strive to be authentic.
Yes, that's one huge thing actually with public speaking, because I think people often when you start out with public speaking or presentation techniques and stuff, it's so much about, do this, don't move too much on stage, move your arms like this, don't cross your arms. There's so many don'ts, and a lot of it almost becomes like stage direction kind of, which makes the person feel less themselves, more uncomfortable and more stiff, and it does not end up well. So my very first tip, you can get into those techniques as well, but that's way down the line. For professional speakers, mostly, not for like regular meetings at work. To be authentic is basically remember that it's okay to show who you are when you're speaking to someone or to a group or doing a presentation. It's so easy to get stuck in just the information, just sharing information about this is our product, or this is the report, this is what I'm going to teach you, and we forget to kind of sprinkle in stories about ourselves or sprinkle in what we think about these things, our emotions. So add emotion, dare to be yourself, and dare to speak about yourself as well. Not just give the information, but show your humanity as well, which is, it helps to create that connection with the audience. And it also helps you feeling less nervous, because you are just you're yourself, and you already know how to do that, sort of. I hope.
Very.
Most people do. But the nervousness gets in the way.
Yeah, excellent. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2.
Yes.
Remember, it's not about you.
It is not about you. So these might seem paradoxical, because on the one hand, the first tip here, I'm saying talk about yourself, which is, you should do that. Many people misunderstand it as, okay, then I'm just gonna tell them everything about me and all my private details. That's not what it means. Don't do that, because it's not about you. You're the person on stage, but it's not really about you. It's about the people listening. It's about the audience who's gonna get something from what you have to say. So this also helps with nervousness. If you can change your perspective, because often we get so much, how are people gonna, perceive me? They're gonna judge me. Yeah. How do I sound? How do I look on the other end of that camera? All these thoughts. We focus so much inward, and that makes us way more nervous than we need to be. Instead, if we can focus on the people that we're talking to, who are people, and remind ourselves these are human beings just like me, and remember it's about them. What kind of gift can I give them today? What can I help them with? What can I give them? It's about giving them something. It's not about you.
It's in a realization as you are speaking as well, is that you're actually on stage for their sake.
Yes.
And they're there to listen to something that you're actually going to tell them.
Yes.
So
so these 2 tips kind of need to go together.
Yeah.
Because talk about yourself, but for a reason, be relevant, because it's for the audience.
And tip number 3, find your why.
Yes, this is also to kind of deal with the nerves. So this is one of the mental exercises that I was talking about earlier, to find Simon Sinek, if you know. Yes, he's amazing. He's one of my idol, probably. He talks about finding your why in business, in your professional life, and in anything. To find your why you want to do something, can be so powerful and so important, especially when you're nervous and you feel uncomfortable and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, and your brain is telling you run, or like call in sick or whatever to get out of it. If you can kind of take a moment and meditate over, why do I still want to do this? Because no one's forcing you. Like, there's nothing, you don't need to do anything in life, really. You don't have to do anything uncomfortable. So why do you still want to go through with this presentation? Why do you still want to lead this meeting? Or why do you want to talk in this group? Why do you want to do it? And try and kind of center around that deeper purpose of why, because that's going to help you and give you more power to push through that uncomfortable and that discomfort that it is to feel nervous. So think about, it's easier said than done, but do take a moment and mentally meditate over, why do I still want to do this?
And with the strong enough why, every how and the reasons, everything else will just, Wonderful. That was 3 really good top 3 tips from Lina Lavender. And it's actually, we're almost on the nose, 3 o'clock
perfect.
now. So thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lina, for coming and opening
Thanks
the
for
autumn
having
with
me.
me.
This
was
was
I
super fun.
really enjoyed this. And I'll just do this one more time for Lina here as well. Go to linalavender.sc and connect with Lina on LinkedIn. Super accessible, super competent, super everything, super person.
Thank you.
And you know the drill, 2:30 p.m. Wednesday afternoons, Innovation Fika. Check it out. Next week again, same time, same place. And of course on YouTube, all of the recorded videos. But for now, that's all for today. Thank you, Lina. Thank you, audience. Thank you, world. Bye, Mom.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.